on the scoreboard or what the wins mean. Now you just get to play for the playing of the game.
And maybe playing for a little bit of ego here, as we've got the battle of the Orions between Stingray and Wes. There's definitely been some contention for a minute here about who's the best Orion, but looks like they're going to try to determine that here and now.
Yeah, this one's interesting too, because I think there was definitely a moment in time where it was questionable who the best Rocket Lance player was. Was it Wesley? Was it Stingray? Was it Koslix? Now, I don't think it's as close of a question, but I also just think it's funny because I don't think they're going to play it much at all.
Just going to play Spear, even though Stingray was like, I'm not feeling my Spear right now.
Yeah, I know. He said that yesterday and then proceeded to play Spear, and I want to say like at least half of the sets, but I think there was a lot of L's he was taking, and he had to find like, is my Spear going to work? No. Is my axe going to work? No. Well, we'll see. I mean, so far, Wesley taking the lead here, but Stingray not trailing too far behind. We're going to have the Rocket Lance Ditto now. And one neutral sig should be enough, and there it is, but Stingray can't quite line it up. A sidelight Sayer will follow and be enough, though.
And he's over to his Spear, gonna swap back to the Lance, see what his damage build. You talked about earlier, right, is there's kind of, we've seen a lot of Lances today from various players, and what is their option off sidelight? Looks like Stingray loves to do that sidelight down here, because he's done that 4 times now. Yeah,
I think, because it's, which way do you want to juggle, right? And I feel like Rocket Lance just as a weapon tends to, this is going to be a beautiful guaranteed punish off of a burn dodge from Stingray there, but I feel like Rocket Lance players tend to want to carry people off the side, and that's kind of where like all the fancy zero that's usually happen. But alternatively, on the other side of things, if you have carrying up the top, you get a lot of juggles that way. It's good damage. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, well, what are you feeling? What are you in the mood for? Are you a Nair kind of Lance player, or are you a Dare kind of Lance player? Right now, Wes an NSIG kind of a Lance player, as that will even up the stock count, and he's sticking with the Lance now.
All right, let's see. I like the side air. Ooh, manages to get 2, and another neutral air, so that's just big value for Stingray there. And honestly, keeping things very interesting. Wes trying to argue back here, goes for the ground pound, very South American fashion, and no punish for it as well. So it's actually pretty worth it if you're Wes, but hasn't been able to really get a win out in neutral for a little bit.
Ooh, Sayer doesn't go high enough. This time it will. Stingray not able to avoid it. Doesn't hit the Nair. Has a little bit of a damage lead here and will disarm Wes, but doesn't get that final side air.
And Stingray manages to get the D-Light, and the recovery is enough. I mean, that's just the short KO boxes on small Brawlhalla for you there. I mean, in the light red, you know, on other maps, probably would survive, but on this one, that's not going to be the case. And Stingray does successfully manage to get a game on the board. That means things are looking good for him, but will he be able to get the set? That is the question.
Yeah, because it is still a best of 5, plenty of chances to adapt and overcome as we get into game number 2. This time onto Apocalypse. Wes, you know, he's like, you know what, I did get taken out a little early there. Let's go to a bigger map.
This is interesting. Trying to see who's the best Orion, or I guess I would argue my personal opinion is that if you beat someone in the Ditto, it doesn't mean you're the best at that character. It just means you're the best at that character fighting that character, and those are 2 totally different things. Yeah. I think if you want to see who's the best of a character, you both have to play the character and see who wins the most against everybody. Anyway, with that said, going into game number 2, Wes looking good.
Still has a recovery. Holding on to it. Wes thought he was going to charge that a little longer there. You saw him go real high with it. Catches with the down sig though. Stingray running out of movement. Still manages to get back up safely.
Okay. Nice to come down. We know it's going to be down 6 City in just a moment here, as they need to be careful of the stacked option, but also because it's so terrifying, it means they might try to float right above you, and you can see what Spear can do in that scenario.
But Stingray comes back, picks up that Lance side air immediately. And, of course, going to be sticking with the Lance. Expect him to go for those sidelight down airs.
Okay. Nice, carries him down and then just backs up. Wants to hold his superior positioning. Had he gone for a Nair there, might have been a little bit more awkward. He had a little bit more stage to retreat to, so I like that he goes for the down air there. But Wesley on this Spear, looking immaculate.
Yeah, also like good recognition of like, okay, the opponent still has a dodge. Whatever I do here is just going to be hoping to catch that dodge. But Wes has been spot dodging a lot off of that, but he gets a nice double down line into the side air. This is really good damage for Wes. Hasn't played the edge guard.
Not quite juicy enough, but the down sig from Orion is going to be a key staple in any game that he is featured in. It is just too potent of a KO option to not go for it all the time.
Now we got that Spear versus Spear. almost a full stock lead for Wes. Ensig thrown out there. That's a burn dodge, and Wes is trying to capitalize off of it. You see him playing right next to that corner for those pogos.
Okay, and down here City, Pogo 1. We see Pogo 2, no. Stingray just backs up and tries to get something with the side light, and ultimately kind of ends up giving up that superior positioning. Has this Rocket Lance here, though, and the side light here is not going to be enough. Can he bring it down to a final stock scenario? He read that he was going to get dodged through there, but just couldn't quite get it in the right spot. Stingray?
Oh, no. That's a dodge. Or, sorry,
that's
the recovery. You saw the stars come out, and Wes going to take game number 2.
Yeah, I mean, granted, that game wasn't close. You know, there was another stock there for Wesley to play with, but also in that last scenario, there was a way for Stingray to convert that he didn't quite get there, and then it ended up being a weird reversal. All is to say that going into game number 3, I'm wondering if we're going to see kind of what happened with Godly and Megdy resurface here. Is it going to be like, okay, you got game 1, and then from here on out, I just kind of beat you really bad? I hope not, but Wesley already looking like it's starting off to be that way.
Yeah, this is a really good start for Wes. Even catches with the Ensig. He goes for the slide charge Ensig. That was almost an OTD, but he did take a little bit of damage, and still, this is a huge lead for Wes.
Oh, man, just like that. Stingray's going to have to fight back with everything he has, but Wesley clearly starting off a whole lot more confident now. Feels like he has the read on Stingray. It's up to Stingray to make that not the case, but look, another caught landing by these D-lights from Wesley. That's at least 2 or 3 different ones we've seen, and this game has barely undergone for like a minute.
He's chasing high, downlight recovery. Stingray gets taken out again. Wesley has so much health to play with. This is a real opportunity for a 3-stock.
And this is exactly what I was worried about, Duke. Were we going to see the Godly and the Megdy? And it's feeling like the answer might be yes. But Stingray does answer back a little bit too late, though, I would argue, but still has a lot of health to play with. I think of Stingray versus Kinda at BCX, but at this point, you would need a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
You would need a little bit more than that. Yeah, it's not looking great for Stingray. I want to see if he can bring it back. I truly believe that he has the capability to, but I just don't know if that's in the cards today. We're going to find out.
Okay. Hit for hit. Definitely in favor of Wes right now. He's falling there. Punish. Okay. Not quite enough. Goes for the recovery just off the bars. Nice. Weapon toss forced the spot dodge from Wes. Hits the down tick. The weapon toss. But it's still enough. Almost saved Wes there. I was worried because that damage was like not a lot off a weapon toss.
All right, now hold on. Stingray might be able to do this. Won't count him out just yet. But Wesley goes for a huge punch there. If he gets one off the top, yeah, you had to go for it. You had to go for it. Oh, okay.
And Wesley's going to take game number 3, currently up 2-1 over Stingray. I almost want to say, like, if Stingray gets the spear, he's good. If he gets the lance, might struggle a little bit more.
Yeah, it was a lot of hot landings from Wes. I feel like we almost saw an uncharacteristic level of D-lights land in a game that, like, sequentially, you know, it was like, man, he's really catching those landings. So maybe with the spear, we'll see a little bit more fight from Stingray. If there's anything that gave me hope in that last game, I missed the D-light input there, is that Stingray's not out of it yet. You know, I felt like watching Megdy, and there wasn't really a moment where I was like, oh, he's clawing his way back into this set. Whereas with Stingray, at the end there, I was like, oh, this didn't just end up being like a 3-stock or a 2-1. You actually brought it all the way down and then ended up losing the stock. That means, like, you still have heart in it, you know?
Yeah. Definitely not a complete wash. Ooh, missed the downlight. Gets a little bit punished there from Wesley. Wesley with those nairs. He's doing a really good job stacking up on Stingray, and Stingray keeps trying to throw for these side airs.
Okay. Yeah, there we go. I like that. I mean, hey, why not switch to Bryn? We saw him playing that Zul a lot earlier today. Clearly likes playing the axe. And so you get yourself the axe, you get yourself the spear, and you got yourself a pretty darn good combo. And I like it because he hasn't tried the axe yet against Wes. And why wouldn't you? Like, he's playing Rocket Lance. This is one of the best matchups for the axe.
Yeah, it's definitely a good matchup for the axe, but maybe a little bit of ego there from Stingray that was preventing him from making the swap a little earlier. Either way, ego is gone. He wants the set, and good dodge up. Avoids that ground pound. Wesley staying right on top of him.
Okay, and now throwing out these D-lights so fast. It hits so high.
Punish?
You see the perfect spacing on that back? Oh,
He's like, I play this character. I know how this works.
Keeps getting caught on those jumps, though. I mean, Wes still keeping that a factor in the matchup, not letting us forget it at all. And Stingray, at some point, I feel like that one should have been the wake-up call. If you hadn't had it before, that should have been the one that's like, watch your jumps, bro, especially when you're in the KO ranges, because Wesley's looking for him.
He's definitely catching those jumps with those downlights very often. All right, double nair there. Stingray comes back down. Nice pickup side air. He's in a good spot to take this one to game 5.
Okay, he's keeping the axe as well. He's still feeling really strongly about his ability to perform with the axe. And with the way that he's been able to get his hits in and punishes, I don't blame him. He's been able to find... Oh, man. Just like that, things are even?
Yep.
Oh, Wesley's so good. Wesley's so good. I thought for sure Stingray might be able to have a game where he's able to keep things in his favor for the vast majority of it. But no, Wesley's like, you can never sleep on the X factor of South America, and immediately makes things closer than I thought they were ever going to be.
Oh, doesn't punish that whiff nair.
Nice
double nair. Goes for the recovery. West! He's chasing, chase dodge up. Both of them sweat beats, and West can't touch down. It's game 5. He face palms because he knew he needed to touch something and get those jumps back.
Oh my goodness. Because I was going to say Stingray through for a second. There was a moment there where like...
West got under him and was going up.
I was like, you were like in the white, and if you lose your stock here, there's no way I can spin it, you know? There's no way I can spin it. But he does manage to come out on top there. That was a terrifying scenario to be in. You burn your chase dodge, and then like, well, since you chase dodge, you don't have a dodge, and you don't think about it, and you're drifting, and you're pressing the dodge. If he got it.
Ceiling's too high.
Yeah, he was like, oh, wrong stage for that. If we were on the last stage, that would have worked. But on this one, the ceiling's too high.
All right, Wes. Gonna have to play through the nerves of getting forced to game 5 there. Nice. Beats out that side sig that Stingray caught him with in the last one.
Wow, perfect spacing on that side air. Just had the very extended part of the spear hitbox touch the corner of the stage. I don't think Wesley thought it was going to hit. I wasn't really a believer either, but that just shows knowing your hitboxes.
Stingray definitely, he's so good at those spear side airs. It still like blows my mind that he's like, I don't really think spear's that great for me.
Because he just knows how to use every part of the hitbox. I feel, oh no way, you just slid off the stage and did that, Wesley. Just reverse slide charge the neutral sig. And you saw how far away he was from the wall, but the fact that the hitbox is so big made it not really matter. He just covered so much space.
Good fastball there from Stingray, though. Expected that wake up down air from West. Got some extra damage afterwards. West now starting to pick up those spear down airs again.
Okay, and we'll see. Gets caught by the second to sidelight and catches the dodge. There's a Stingray. Has to get down with that one. And you see Wesley's just so patient. He's so patient.
N-Sig connects. Not quite enough.
Ooh, what's going to be the option here? You can tell Stingray wants to stalk right now, but Wesley not trying to let that happen. Picks up a rocket lance, and that might be the little bit of extra juice he needed. No, the down sig has just enough juice from Stingray. People forgot about it. Now it doesn't do 40 damage anymore, but it's still a really good sig.
Now that it does a reasonable amount of damage, crazy. Side air. Weapon toss, Pogo, and Stingray going to be in the final stocks. Who's going to take it? Can Stingray get on the board?
Stingray's had so many game 5s today, and he has not been the victor of any of them. I'm thinking at some point in his head, he's probably like, can I get one? And you can see Wesley's playing extremely confidently. Stingray needs to match that confidence. And right now, he just needs to get a hit in neutral, something to let him know he's still in it. That neutral air is a good start, but he needs more consecutive hits than that. 2 neutral airs. Okay, now he knows he's playing, but Wesley answers right back. He's trying to keep it close, tries to end it right there, but not enough juice. And Wesley with the down sig. I don't know, dude.
He's getting into the red. He gets the weapon toss to the face. He's going real high sweat beads, but Wes covering the ground. He's got the lance in hand. Side light in air, and Sig misses.
One more hit from Wesley. Stingray needs a juicy punch. That down air is going to add some much needed damage, but Wesley just charges the recovery and reads the soul of Stingray to make him lose yet another game. 5. It has not been Stingray's day today. He's been so close so many times, but if we want to talk about the theme of the day, the theme of the weekend, it's been clutch factor, and Stingray just has not had it this weekend.
Just could not clutch it out in those final moments. Wes.